Greetings and salutations to all you folks out there, and welcome to the next round in the 3 vs 3 tournament as we continue our search for the Musketeers. The map is Adaptive Argon. We're going to go ahead and introduce the players, and then we'll talk a little bit about the map. On the north side, we've got Chosen and BRNKoINSANITY going Seraphim, UEF the faction of choice for Titan Young. All of these guys are going first land factory and building out mass extractors. Looks like 2 rushing for the Hydro, and Chosen going for an adjacency build, probably for another air factory. Zlo on the south side is going to be taking UEF with first power generator, oddly enough, rushing for the Hydro after his mechs build, and then 2 Seraphims to his right, Blindchick and RoboGear also rushing the Hydro. Looks like we've got second air for RoboGear. To speak a little to the map, Adaptive Argon I think has a more popular cousin, Flooded Argon, which is one that I've played quite a bit, where this entire lower area is flooded, obviously, hence the name, and there's a water passage all the way around the back side of these plateaus. These bases are cleared and you've got access to the beaches on what are the ramps on this map. These would be your seawall. So on this particular one, that means that there's more room to have land battles out in the front, but that still does leave choke points. You've got one here, and then 2 on the south side. While map control is important, there's not that many mass extractors in the middle of the map, so it's not necessarily the end of the world if you do lose the center. There's not any additional reclaim there either, but these plateaus are going to play an important role. This one can be reached from the ground, this one cannot. There's a substantial amount of reclaim on this, and it is within striking distance of the main base should you build mobile missile launchers, T3 mobile artillery, or whatever else you can drop or build up there, such as tac launchers that you can reach the base with. 10K map, it is big enough that you're not going to be able to push tac launchers from your base to the other. You do have to build them forward. So as long as you can prevent a fire base from happening in the middle, you will be relatively safe in your home territory. So, looking at the beginning movements on the map, 2 air factories planned for Titan Young, 2 forward land factories, same dealio for BRNKoINSANITY, 2 air factories in the base with heavy adjacency, 2 air factories for Chosen. So that's a total of 6 air factories planned in the earliest portion. I do see that mech marine up there. We will catch it in just a second. Blindchick going for an early transport, only 1 factory planned for the air. Looks like 2 land factories, 1 land, 1 air for RoboGear, who will be moving his commander. Nope, he's still building with it. I thought that was a move order to the front. Zlo going for 2 air factories with 3 land in his base. On the north side, the mech marine bypassed the sell-in and is going to be picked up by 2 Thams. Zlo doing a pretty dang good job microing it versus 1 tank. But when you have 2 tanks, you simply cannot predict accurately where those shots are going to be coming from or when they're hitting. Early transport shot down by the interceptors from Titan Young, so the bid for the forward plateau is going to be denied. But look at what we have over here. Looks like RoboGear is going to get an early drop on the opposite side of the map and try to take his opponent's mesa. Land factory going down first. Secondary dropping an engineer on the north side to pick up that mass extractor and reclaim more quickly. That's going to be a massive advantage if he's able to hold this, because he will be able to build T1 artillery, harass any of the units in the channels around the mesa, and also will be able to strike at the home base like I was talking about earlier. Looks like Blindchick is going to get his second air factory online. A few more PGens planned. Does need to get that ACU up towards the front. Speaking to reclaim, there is quite a bit on this map, some of it worth more than others. You'll notice 150 and 75 on a few of these boulders on the outside edges, and then a scattering of 5 and 10 mass rocks, even up to 38 in quite a few locations on the map. So you do need to have engineers out and about reclaiming so that you can either get an early T2 mass extractor online, as we're seeing from BRNKoINSANITY, or you can get several more factories like Zlo is building. Whatever you do, you need to get that mass and then make some use of it. Titan Young moving out to the center on the right side. He did get a drop on his opponent's mesa, so nice play similar to the one that we see over here, but there are counter engineers dropped by RoboGear. RoboGear dropping 3, 4 from Titan Young, and they do have a head start on the factory. Nice little catch on the rock there in order to get that factory built more quickly. I do believe that Titan Young is going to come out on top of this fight, especially since he does have Mech Marines out early to harass all of those NGs. I'd love to see a T1 bomber picking up some of those forward engineers, but it doesn't look like one is available. Chosen just edge built a T1 land factory, but there is a second land factory going down as we speak. Combat units are already out for RoboGear on the front line, so I don't think that that factory is going to get anywhere. Oh my. Oh me, oh my. There's the T1 bomber. There's the bomb. Just a half a second too late. Every single engineer going to die, but the factory is completed, so that is going to give Titan Young the upper hand. He will be able to eliminate this land factory and take the base. So a pretty handy land control advantage going to the north side. Not as many mechs as maybe, because the center is by no means locked down, but a very good start for the north. So we got a few units up trying to raid on the right. Those are not going to be too terribly successful thanks to the steady stream of units coming down from Titan Young's base. I do believe that Chosen, nope, I thought he was in an upgrade, but he is not. He is moving over to the left to secure that other mass extractor and get another land factory down on the front line. We now have a total of 6 land factories planned for Zlo, doing his characteristic play where he decides not to eco at all unless he just stumbles upon some random extra mass in a certain place or two, and he is going to get out as many units as he possibly can. Counter to what Chosen is doing, where he only has 2 land factories. He's building his third, and he's relying on his ACU in the choke to prevent any units from running by. We've got a nice little grouping coming up from Titan Young, but more units are going to get dropped. Blinchick trying to recover this Mesa as quickly as possible. Got 3 engineers up, building a total of 3 land factories along with a point defense, and then with the other units that are getting dropped, looks like that will be able to secure this Mesa. Nicely done, especially when you consider the bombers that are now factory locking Titan Young. Of course, each time those bombers circle around, they do kill the unit that is building inside the factory, so as long as they drop continuously, they do completely prevent the factory from building any units whatsoever. Looks like we've got a strong air superiority for the south side team, which is a bit odd considering that the north side built far more air factories early on, but you can look at the additional assistance on these air factories and tell exactly what is going on. Each 4 engineers will act as another factory worth of build power, so this is actually like 5 air factories and 2 or 3 air factories, although those now have moved on to building power to recover some of the needs. Oh, nasty! We've got Zooey fire in the base, a T1 mass extractor going down, and now all of those are going to get wiped out. Opponent's Zooey to the rescue. Yeah, when you got all your units clumped up as they drop off of the air transport, you need to get those spread out because AoE attacks are brutal. Anybody who's seen a T2, or not a T2, but an ACU with overcharge hit up a drop as it's landing knows exactly what I'm talking about. That drop definitely was not worth it, only killing off the single T1 mass extractor. Titan Young is forward on the right-hand side. He's getting a lot of territory locked down with quite a few mass extractors under his control, although he's not going super hard on the upgrades. Only 3 T2 mass extractors so far and a light smattering of build power. He's doing a pretty good job of balancing this game out. Okay, Puck almost to a gun upgrade. RoboGear just finished a gun upgrade. Looks like Zlo choosing not to go for any type of enhancement on his ACU, but Chosen does have T2, so these guys absolutely evenly matched. We've actually got RoboGear, Titan Young, OK Puck, Zlo, Chosen, Blinchick. They're pretty evenly spaced going down the scoreboard as well, so this is anybody's game. One thing I do see shaping up to be a problem, though, is the fact that Zlo is not having to devote many at all of his units to the left, which means a lot of his tanks are now moving over to the right. And OK Puck, while he does have the gun upgrade, is pretty much having to supply all of his own units. This double team might turn into something nasty, especially with OK Puck moving his ACU far forward with his units moving to the left. This seems like bad placement to me, especially when his opponent does have the gun upgrade as well. He may not know that, but he will know it soon as that ACU comes in to engage. He might be playing on the assumption, well, intel may be bad. He doesn't even have that radar blip marked. He may be under the assumption that his opponent does not have the gun upgrade yet. RoboGear now making a move with his units. Looks like he's going to go try to tangle up the pathfinding of that ACU, moving his commander up on the right to start whittling away at the number of tanks available to OK Puck. Puck is going to get surrounded here. He's got red units all the way around his ACU. We've got a perfect scissor maneuver coming in from Zlo, moving units up from the south and from the north. OK Puck is going to have to get some veterancy under his belt and maneuver carefully to get out of this situation. I would hope that one of his opponents would come to his aid, or one of his teammates would come to his aid. We do have Chosen moving up on the front line, a T2 gun comm there, but Zlo is simply giving up territory, falling back and letting Chosen have it in order to keep his units on the right side where they can do the maximum amount of damage to this commander. Got an engineer drop avoiding the area, moving in to try to snap up some of this reclaim as quickly as possible. OK Puck taking huge amounts of damage to his commander. He is out of reach of the gun comm, but with the tanks continuing to screw over his pathfinding, he is gonna get caught and killed. That is a devastating loss for the north side. Of course, those units given over, but it will not matter due to the fact that they will all control K momentarily. Looks like Titan Young does have enough units on his side to protect the right. We've got a T2 gun comm for Chosen able to protect the left, and a lot of units were lost in the center, so these guys actually do still stand a chance if they stay in this fight. We've got a lot of reclaim in the home base. I was about to comment that it looks like the eco was the doom of OK Puck, since he was ecoing more than he was building units, but I think he was actually on about even footing with RoboGear, who does have quite a few T2 mechs in his home base as well. Chosen, do you have no air at all? Oh yeah, that's GG. Oh, come on, really? Really? Why you gotta control K like that, man? You're supposed to fight it out to the end. Chosen was in a halfway decent position, but now I'm looking at it, and I see a lot of T1 tanks dropping into his base. That is not going to be a pleasant experience on the home front. Thams, T1 tanks in general don't possess a ton of damage, but when you have two T1 transports completely loaded full, and there's not really anything other than a couple of T1 bombers to defend the base, then you might start having a little bit of problem. And it looks like he is going to be focus firing the energy storage to get that out of the way ASAP. Chosen with a vet, and the T2 is going to have much higher health and regen than his opponent does, but throw all those T1 units into the mix along with a couple of T1 bombers harassing the crap out of his ACU, and that is going to be GG. Chosen shredding the last little bit of health, shedding the last little bit of health, excuse me if I untangle my tongue from the roof of my mouth. Second veterancy picked up, struggling to get away to the rear, but the number of units is just too damn high, paired with gun comm, and that is a nuclear detonation. Well played from the south side. We're able to frustrate the north into a control K, and it was definitely not a lost game. You don't want to do that, folks. You want to stay in it, especially in a tournament. Man, there is always room for a comeback. Well, nearly always at least, and I hate to see somebody take a bail on that one, but admittedly, the south side did play exceptionally well. That is gonna wrap everything up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like and share it with someone. If you want to support the channel, catch the streams, or join the Discord, check out the links in the description. Thank you all for being at least partially insane, and I will see you in the next one.